the most valuable things ever is when you can give something to people that really need it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm, as the first speaker of the proposition team in here, really believe that scholarship is something that is so rich and most valuable and most reasonable things ever. So we should take a really high and mature consideration while we're talking about scholarship itself, ladies and gentlemen. And because of that, we already face so many kind of case that many high financial necessity people and many high financial necessity students having a governmental scholarship, meanwhile they are enough to having more than it, ladies and gentlemen. I think that this kind of motion, this kind of cases is really urgent to solve right now, ladies and gentlemen, because I think that scholarship itself, as I said before, that something is really so rich and most valuable things ever. So we must take a really high and mature consideration if we're talking about scholarship itself. And the scholarship itself must dedicate it to the right people and to the right students, ladies and gentlemen, to the right target. And let's take a look about what is exactly the reason behind the scholarship itself being created and being exists nowadays, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, because scholarship itself is exists and being created to help the students that has low financial necessity in financial, to be aid to student that has low financial necessity to get more proper facilitation when they're school, when they are in school, when they are studying while they are studying in school, ladies and gentlemen. So that's why this kind of scholarship is not fit anymore if we also give this scholarship to the people, to the student that has high financial necessity, ladies and gentlemen. And one question, if you already have a good and enough financial necessity, why you and for what you still have scholarship, ladies and gentlemen? First of all, because scholarship exists to help, as I said before, that to be aid to the student who has a good prestation index at school and literally had so much potential in school. Because I, as the proposition in here, believe that even if you are a low financial necessity students, you still have a same chance to the students that have high financial necessity to get scholarships, ladies and gentlemen, to change your fate in the future, to be same as them, ladies and gentlemen. So that's why scholarship goals itself is actually, especially in Indonesia, in our country, in our beloved country right now, in status quo, is to develop Indonesia itself with making much of young, smart young generation. And mostly the smart young generation can also get from the students who has low financial necessity family, ladies and gentlemen. So that's why government want to provide more facilities to them, to the student that has a low financial necessity, because the government want that all of their students can feel the same and can change their fate in the future and can also develop Indonesia in the future, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why I think that this kind of motion, I will clearly explain to you what kind of scholarship I mean, what kind of financial necessity I mean, and what schools level I mean in this kind of motion. Okay, first of all, I'm, as the proposition team, prefer to use governmental scholarship in this kind of motion, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because I think that the goals of the governmental scholarship itself is that we want to highlight more the group of people or student that has low financial necessity but also has a big potential, also has a big spirit to change their fate in the future, ladies and gentlemen. So because they can break the lack, they can also have the same chance to equal with students with high potential necessity, ladies and gentlemen. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we also, I'm, as the proposition team, also prefer to the scholarship, to give the scholarship to the people who smart but not have financial necessity. And then the scholarship itself actually in the form of free education, ladies and gentlemen. So the people or the student that has low financial necessity can get a free education, can get a free facilitation, can get a free books, and etc., ladies and gentlemen. They can enjoy to get more facilitation while studying in school, ladies and gentlemen. And after that, financial necessity we mean in here is the student who really cannot fulfill their daily needs, cannot fulfill their daily necessary, ladies and gentlemen. So that's why the scholarships itself is really proper to give to them, ladies and gentlemen. And we wanted to apply this kind of motion in all schools level, because I think in here that if we apply this kind of motion in all schools level, it will given more equality than we just apply in some of schools level, ladies and gentlemen. And after that, I think yes, we admit that not all kind of students not all kind of low financial necessity student can be loyal to this kind of scholarships, ladies and gentlemen. So that's why we should do a survey first to make sure that all the low financial necessity students itself can be loyal and can be using this kind of scholarships properly in the future, ladies and gentlemen. On how we can look at their index prestation at school, we can also look at their social projection, and we can also look at how active they are in the organization in their school, ladies and gentlemen. I think that it's more than enough to us to make sure that they are properly to get this kind of scholarships, ladies and gentlemen. Because if we also give this kind of scholarships to the rich people, to the rich students, I think this kind of scholarships is just can just be an appreciation to them, ladies and gentlemen. This kind of scholarship is not too necessary to them, and just being an appreciation to them, ladies and gentlemen. Because I think that if the opposition team worry is to give more appreciation, no matter you are from low financial necessity students or high financial necessity students, I think that to appreciate the students with high financial necessity, you can do an open competition. Maybe it's also a form of giving an appreciation, right? So okay, I'm as the first speaker of my team really believe in here that right of students with low financial necessity must prioritize more on the basis of financial necessity itself, ladies and gentlemen. Because why? Because based on all of my explanation before, that I've told you before, that scholarships itself is really should only be granted on the basis of financial necessity, because the low financial necessity students is really need more this kind of scholarships. Thank you.